Hello, welcome to Aircraft Maintenance Practices Unit 9 lecture. This topic will cover one of the transmission method, chain drives. This lesson, we will identify and describe the characteristics and applications of chains and sprocket in aircraft, explain some terms related to the roller chain, inspect and install chain and sprockets. So where do we use chain drive system? It is used on the control column that drive through and transmit the command of the control columns to the flight control surfaces. One typical example would be Cessna 172 control stick, where you have the chain drive attached to the control columns, and wherever the control columns move, the chain drive will drive and transmit the command to the flight control surfaces. Of course, 737 Boeing 737 utilize chain drive to move the cabin door. There are various methods to transmit forces: chain drive, belt, cables, push-pull rods. Each individual will have their own strengths and weaknesses. So why do we choose chain drive? Because it's strong, high load carrying capacity. It provides a flexible connection. It does also have a positive transmission of power, no slip or backlash as compared to belt and cable. Example where we use chain drive would be the flying control systems, where they are used in conjunction with steel cables and pulleys, control column or stick movement, cabin door at Boeing 777 or 737. Last but not least, screw jack. Screw jack is a component that allow the horizontal stabilizer of the aircraft to pivot. So you may want to Google search more on aircraft screw jack. Nomenclature for the chain. So chain itself is classified under outer plate, inner plate. So this outer plate is attached to the inner plate, and where there is a roller, two roller into the bushing, and then again by the inner outer plate. So this is the whole individual chain chaining up together to form a long chain system. So this is the another view, a top view of the chain. So the outer plate with two bearing pin, okay, inserted in and secured in by an outer plate. So this is the end fitting type of the chain. So the chain can end with a kind of fitting a female threaded portion. So I think later there are some more slides to explain about the end fitting. So at the side wall of the plate itself, you will see a number digit. So it represents something we will explain down the road. So what we are interested in chain will be the pitch distance, the width, and the diameter of the roller. I mentioned earlier, to ensure proper meshing and gearing, we are very interested in these three dimensions: the pitch distance, the roller diameter, and the roller width. So the chain, in order to drive the chain, you will need a sprocket wheel, okay, to change the direction and also to drive the chain. Chain drive for aircraft, simple roller type BS228. So whenever a chain is being fabricated, a proof test is required, and 1/3 of the braking load will be applied onto the new chain before you can install onto it. So this proof test will be done by the manufacturer. All right, and the end user people like us, maintenance, repair, overhaul, what we need to do is demand through the part number. When the chain come, we just need to unpack it and install according to what the aircraft maintenance manual uh, instructed us to do. All right, so this is the change pitch. This is the BS number 1246. So various type of minimum breaking load and the proof load the manufacturer has to apply before sending it for installation. So use of spring clips is prohibited on aircraft roller chain. All right, and offset is prohibited also, like this offset. So actually we in maintenance point of view, the stringent requirement of aircraft maintenance, actually we are not allowed to repair the chain if the chain is faulty or damaged. What we can do is always demand a new one. Of course, you want to repair the chain can, you must raise we call it assistant uh, engineering assistant request notes to the manufacturer, and provided the manufacturer has the method to repair and approved by the authority. So most of the time, to make things easy and to minimize time wastage, where aircraft on ground, they are not earning money. So aircraft need to be on payload with passengers, and airlines then can earn money. So instead of wasting a few days for the manufacturer to come and give you the solution and another few more days to repair the damaged chain, it's rather cheaper that way to purchase a new chain set and remove the old damage and install a new one. All right. So for aviation standard, it's either riveted links or the endpoint must be bolted. So what we end user do is we do not modify or change any chain setting from the manufacturer. What we do is remove any damaged chain and install the original chain supplied by the manufacturer as it is, as per the maintenance requirement. All right, so let's move on. So this is the chain end fitting we talk about. So your chain can be from the flight control columns or the stick, and it pass straight through. You need an end fitting where it can be a bolt type or type of a female threaded fitting, and transmit it through a male fitting engage and through cable. So that is the transition point from chain to cable. Okay, so that's the end fitting. So there are various methods of end fitting available. It depends on aircraft designer options. Okay. Right. This is the female threaded end fitting I referred to earlier, and this is the male fitting. Over here is internal threaded end fitting, external threaded end fitting. I want to bring to your attention will be the safety hole on the internal threaded end fitting. This safety hole is to ensure for that or to allow the inspector to check sufficient thread engagement when the external thread end fitting is engaged into the internal thread fitting. So if the number of thread is not sufficient enough, this safety hole, either you use a lock wire to push through, or you can use a light to shine through and look at the other side. You can see through the lighting. Then it's telling the inspector that the external thread is not positively engaged, not sufficient enough. So best is to make sure that you tighten it further to ensure that number of thread pass through the safety hole. Okay, you will learn more about the safety hole on the cable tensioning topic, where you will experience about what you mean by safety hole. Okay, so this is also the turnbuckle where you have a lock nut. So this is the chain end fitting, and this is the male part in this case, and this is the female part, and then you have the bolted portion and cable. So there are various methods. Okay, depends on aircraft designer intent. So this is a typical chain assembly arrangement. we will need a sprocket wheel, okay, to change the direction. Do take note that there's a bi-panel block. This bi-panel block allows user to change the chain direction in two planes by 90 degrees. You realize that through the connection here, and by using the biplanar block, my chain direction will be twisted, and that allowed me to change my chain direction to another axis. All right, you can look at here. Okay, it's entirely different. So the bipanel block allows you to change the chain direction 90 degrees. Another feature we want to talk about will be the non-reversible chain assembly. All right, there are 5 features here for this non-reversible chain assembly. It's a non-reversible chain. That means you only can install in one way. Projecting thread on one side of the chain wheel, okay, and there's a chain guard here. A non-interchangeable end connectors. All right, and last, the best of the feature will be is a foolproof installation, where you allow the user or ensure that the user install the chain direction correctly. All right, this is our Hawker 700 on our Aero Hub displayed. All right, so this is a 1970s design aircraft. So that time, with limited options and technology advancement, is a pure mechanical control aircraft. So you can see that the control columns, okay, in this case, this goes to the elevator. So for the elevator, you'll be a control columns, and you will have chain drive coupled by push-pull rod, okay, and cables all the way to the elevator control columns. Control surfaces. So this is pure mechanical control. The good thing about pure mechanical control is very robust, unless it's shut off. If not, the control is always there. Unlike fly-by-wire is using electrical signal, and when it comes to electrical parts, it's not that reliable. All right, speed ratio, quickly run through. We have European and American speed ratio. So you can read through yourself what is the speed ratio. For European will be input speed over output speed. For American will be opposite, output speed over input speed. Okay, then the speed ratio can be number of tip on the driven divided by number of tip of the driver. And then, so it depends on which aircraft model manufacturer you are working with. If you are working with Boeing aircraft, then you'll be American standard. McDonnell Douglas aircraft is American standard. If you're working on Airbus, then yep, that is the standard of European. So welcome to aviation world. So there are times that we need to inspect the chain. So in order to inspect the chain, we have to remove the chain assembly, check for the chain for freedom from twist, engagement, tensioning, and ensure it's properly and correctly lubricated. There's no corrosion, and no stiffening on the joint part. That means all right. And last but not least, elongation. All right. And also on the sprocket side, we have to check for wear, corrosion, and also security and cracks, any possible defects. So how do we check? We remove and clean it with paraffin, and with a stiff brush, and dry it immediately. How do we check for elongation? Actually, we have to measure the length, okay, minus away the actual original length over actual original length. So that will give me the percentage of elongation. All right. So if the elongation after you calculated is more than 2%, then the whole chain must be replaced. We do not modify or repair. Like I say, we can do that. You can raise a earned, okay, engineering assistant request notes. You can do that, but you will take time, and not worth it, right? So actual origin length, you can count the number of pitch multiplied by number of links. If you need to do that. So these are the various type of damage you will possible encounter when you inspect. So any damage, cracks, wear, evidence of corrosion and pitting, we will replace it. So yep, you can run through this. I won't run through everything. So these are the defects. Just now earlier, there's a slide mentioned about the number appear on the chain. So what does the number refer? It can be 35, there's a 40, 50, 60, and 80. So the two digits. The first digit represent the pitch. Okay, remember one of the important dimension animal you're very interested is the pitch. So the first digit represent the pitch in 1/8 of an inch. So if it's a 3/5, so it's 3/8. The pitch is 3/8 of the inch. So you take a ruler and measure, it should be 3/8 between the center to the center of the ruler. So 4/8 is half. So this goes. And the second digit designates style. So 0 is standard roller, 1 is lightweight, 2 is roller less chained. All right. So that's the hidden message of the number. Chain duplication methods. Most of the time you either use, depends on the maintenance manual requirement. It can be applied through brush or through squeaking gun. Okay, a squeaking oil can squeaking. So you just apply the oil over the chain roller. Okay, so it's a periodic maintenance. All right, thank you. For this chain transmission, there is no calculation required, but they'll be tested in your test 3, all right, MCQ. Okay, see you.